Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to talk about what makes a quality girl in terms of relationships. I hear a lot of guys saying like if a woman puts out or hooks up with you on the first date, she's not relationship quality. She probably has a super high body count and she's not worthy of being in a relationship with because she'll probably cheat on you or leave you eventually. Because she has sex so quickly. That is such a dumb way of screening women in terms of their relationship quality. Think about it. That's like saying I could never trust a woman that has sex with me because a woman that has sex with a guy like me is probably not good quality. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything serious with women that have sex with me. So dumb. No, how quickly a woman has sex with you has absolutely zero to do with her relationship quality. How stable she will be in a relationship, how nice she'll be in a relationship, how good that relationship will be. A lot of it's going to depend on you and her event as well, but there are way better ways of screening for relationship quality and how quality this girl is, and it has nothing to do with how quickly she sleeps with you. You could have sex with absolute virgins that have never ever slept with another man right on the first date. It's not that hard. It's actually easier than women that are very experienced. This is what most guys have no clue. It's actually easier to have sex on the first date with girls that are virgins as opposed to girls that have lots of sexual experience. This is totally self-evident. A girl that has very little sexual experience has really no experience turning off her arousal. So when she gets aroused, she's going to want to have sex. It doesn't matter what's going in her brain. It's new to her. She's aroused. She's going to want to go to the full conclusion, and she's not going to have any experience shutting that arousal down. Whereas a woman that has been in bed with tons of players, tons of sexual experience, she knows. She's been down this road many times before. She knows if I want to keep this guy, or maybe make this guy think that I'm super chaste and that I'm, don't sleep around, that I've got to shut him down and give him lots of resistance. And she'll do all the tricks and do everything to diffuse her arousal, to try to calm her arousal down so she doesn't go to the full conclusion. This is why experienced women are way better at turning off the arousal, turning off shutting down the whole escalation process, because they've been done it so many times. Whereas an inexperienced woman has no experience being physically aroused and some guy escalating on them. They've never experienced it, so they just go with it because it feels really good. And they're not worried about losing a guy because she slept with him super early. Because these women don't lose men. That's the big thing. That's what you should look for in relationship quality. You should be looking for, is this some chick that guys just pump and dump and then leave her? Then her relationship quality is probably pretty crap if a bunch of other guys don't want her. However, the majority of women that are high tier, that have lots of relationship quality, they're great looking, they have great personalities, they don't lose men by sleeping with them on the first date. They don't lose men by, chasing them or anything like that. Because they just don't lose men. Men do not pump and dump these girls. So they have no experience. They're not pulling back and be oh, I better not sleep with them too early, or I better not seem too easy, because they've never experienced a girl, a guy dumping them or leaving them. So there's no games with them. They want you and they chase you easily, especially after sex, because the experience is so new to them. They haven't slept with very many guys. So after that sex act is done, within a couple weeks, they're chasing you hard. And that's when she probably doesn't have too much experience, and not a lot of guys have probably hit it the way you did. And that's why, like, that's what you should look for. You should be looking for, is this a girl that gets dumped? Is this a girl that gets pumped and dumped? If so, then she's probably not very good relationship quality if a bunch of guys are having sex with her and dumping her. However, the majority of women, pretty much every girl that I've ever been in a long-term relationship, has never in their entire lives been dumped, ghosted, like, sex and the guy never calls her back. They never lose a guy. Essentially, they've never been dumped. That's when you know you've got a quality woman. Because, yeah, no guy has ever, like, wanted to, end the relationship with her or stop seeing her or ghost her. That's when you know you got a good one. And you have to do it when you ask those questions about, like, oh, like, have you ever been dumped before? Has everybody, like, pumped or dumped you? You don't ask them like that. You ask them while you're, like, in a relationship. Maybe she's talking about, a girlfriend that got dumped. You can ask her, like, have you ever been dumped? Like, just, like, innocent question like that. And then if she's high quality, she'll say, like, no, it's never happened. Like, I ended all my relationships. Or, like, you'll watching a show on TV and some girl gets ghosted after hooking up with a guy. And you can be like, has that ever happened to you? Like, what's that feel like? And if she's high quality, she'll be like, I don't know, like, no one's ever ghosted me before. And that way it shows that, like, you're not judging her. You're not being like, you're not, like, actually serious about, is this girl high quality or bad quality? Because then she'll obviously lie and be like, no, like, I've obviously, like, no one's ever, like, pumped or dumped me. If it looks like you're going to be judging her on it. So you want to avoid that. You just want to ask an innocent question and see how she responds. And what you'll find is the majority of women, high tier women, have never been dumped, never been ghosted, never been pumped and dumped. And that's when you know, like, these girls are high quality. No guy has ever said no to them. No guy has ever said, like, no, you're not worthy of a relationship. And that's why, like, these guys get confused, like, oh, like, if she has sex with you on the first date, it's obviously means she's, like, super easy. Not necessarily. Like I said, the girls that are very inexperienced, maybe have zero or just the odd sexual partner, they're often the easiest girls to, have sex with. I hate to break it to guys, but that's true, especially a guy, like a player that knows what he's doing, because he's able to arouse her, and as soon as she's aroused, that arousal is completely new to her. She's not going to shut it down. She's not going to pull back and be like, oh, it feels too good, like, I'm going to shut this shit down. That's what experienced women do, because they're worried about potentially looking like, like easy and scaring a guy off. Oh, if I put out on the first date, he won't consider me for a relationship, so I'll make sure that he thinks that I'm super, like, conservative and I never have sex on the first date. Those are the experienced girls. Those are the girls that have been down the road plenty of times before. Whereas girls that have never lost a man, never, like, been pumped and dumped, they'll be like, what? Like, I don't have to, like, hold back. She doesn't have to hold back because she's never lost a guy. No, she's never chased a guy too hard. She's never lost. So why would she be worried about losing you? So instead of worrying about how quickly she sleeps with you, because a lot of that is going to depend on you as well. If you were an experienced player able to arouse girls when she's back at your place, you will be, like, able to escalate on girls very quickly, very easily, despite whether they're experienced or inexperienced. So a player has, like, a lot to do with how quickly she sleeps with you, like how experienced you are at escalating things and arousing her. Because as soon as that arousal's, like, reaches a certain point, they're like, okay, it's time. We're going for it. And that's, like, what a skilled player does. And a lot of these guys that are like, oh, don't have sex with women that, put out on the first, or don't consider women that are hook up with you on the first date for relationships. These guys are completely clueless. These are the guys where the girl can have, like, 100 body count, and she'll be like, oh no, like, I don't have sex on the first date, and she'll shut the like whole escalation process down. And this guy will think he's got like this chaste virgin that like never has sex. Meanwhile, she's making him wait like, weeks, months to have sex. And by the time he has sex, he's like, yes, look at all the trouble I went through. Look at how hard I worked to get her sex. It means I've got a quality woman. No, it means she played your ass. It means she's got way more experience than your ass could ever acquire. And she played your dumb ass to make you think that she was like, relationship quality, what you consider relationship quality. Whereas if you were a non-judgmental guy that didn't care about like her body count or how quickly she slept with you, she would have slept with the guy on the first date because she knows she doesn't have to pretend to be an angel. That's why, like, if I sense that a girl is holding back because she's worried about like that I'll think she's easy or not relationship quality, I flat out tell her, I'm like, is there a problem? Like, what's the deal? Are you just like not comfortable, or what's going on? Maybe you think that like I'm not really interested in you and I just want to use you for sex. And I'm like, and if it's honestly the case and I really think this girl's relationship quality, I'll flat out tell her, I'm like, look, like I'm not just here for sex. I consider you like I want to hang out with you. And like it doesn't really matter if we have sex or not. But yeah, that's what I'm going for here. But I'm not going to think badly because you had sex on the first date. Hell, I have sex on the first date all the time. So it's not a big deal to me. And as soon as you like put your cards out on the table and tell these girls that like, look, I'm not judging you for being like, wanting to have sex because I want to have sex. We should be working together on this. We should both be like into it. And that's what I want. And as soon as you lay your cards out on the table and explain it like that, suddenly a big like sigh of relief. She's like, oh, like I could finally stop pretending that I'm like, don't like sex or that I don't want to have sex. And you'll find these girls that's what it takes. Just be upfront about like what you want. And obviously don't tell girls that you really just wanted to hit it and quit it. Then don't tell these girls that like, oh yeah, like I'd really want to see you again, like, and lie to her. That's just dumb. But if there's so many times where I've been in bed with a girl that I'd rather like I date and have a relationship with, but I can tell she's holding back because she doesn't want to like look easy, because she's afraid of me judging her. And what I find is as soon as you're upfront about, you're not just trying to pump and dump them, that you really want to see them again afterwards, suddenly she can breathe a sigh of relief and stop, she can stop like putting on the whole front of like, oh, I really don't want to have sex, or, oh, I don't feel comfortable. Finally, she's like, woo, good, because like now I can finally like put away the act here. And often she'll have sex that night or the next date after, because she knows that like, you're not just going to pump and dump her. Like, she trusts you. She doesn't have to worry about like offending you or like removing her relationship quality by having sex with you on the first or second date. So as soon as you're like upfront and you're actually truthful about what you want, yeah, it cuts through all the bullshit. And which is why you cannot trust how quickly a woman sleeps with you or how good her relationship quality is. Instead, look for her relationship history. Is she the one to dump the boyfriends that she's with? Or are the men more likely to be like dumping this girl? And if the guys are more likely to dumping these girls, she's probably not good quality. Because most guys live in a sense of like total thirst. So the odds of them dumping a woman, she has to be like do pretty badly in order for a guy to dump her in most cases, unless she's like dating like really high quality men that have tons of options, which is another story in it altogether. But again, she shouldn't have a history of being dumped by men. Then you'll know she's high quality. All right, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching.